Okay, very good. So we shall start, right, it's exactly noon right now. We will start in 2 minutes. And
Okay.
while we wait, let me just start sharing a little bit of the background. So the ideas for this program came from Rashmiji, Manuji, and Vasuji. And I'm very thankful to all three of them to put this program together. Thank you very much, Rashmiji, Manuji, and Vasuji. The idea really is that we Hindu Americans, people who have made home in the West, but who are committed culturally, civilizationally to Dharma and to Bharata, should make all the efforts, utmost efforts possible to pass on the torch of Dharma, the Samskara, to our next generation, who might not have the same benefit that we did of growing up in an environment that fostered Dharma almost automatically, almost implicitly on its own. So we don't live in that atmosphere, and the school system, the surroundings, the cultural atmosphere is not all that friendly. In fact, it's very inimical to the values that we are talking about, and therefore it becomes utmost responsibility of who else but we parents to take an extra effort, go the extra mile, to do whatever we can to teach the children of our Hindu American community the values of Dharma, and also not only values but also give these young children confidence that they have a huge Hindu American community, kids just like themselves living across the different states, and therefore that internal confidence that when they're even though they are minority, they are not a very small in number, they have other peers who they can network with and gain help from. So that's my background to it. I think we can start. um, I think there are few people still trickling in, but in interest of everybody else's time, let's start. So once again, namaste and welcome to the program called Rooted in Dharma, uh, put together by Rashmiji, Manuji, and Vasuji. I have already introduced them in WhatsApp this morning, but I would let them introduce themselves quickly and take it forward. Rashmi ji will be the anchor for the session today. So with that and without much further ado, Rashmi ji, over to you.
Hello, yes. Namaste, everybody. Namaste to all the children over here, gathered over here today, and also to the parents who are accompanying them. We welcome you to this first class in the multi-class part series. And as you can see, this is a very sincere effort on our part, all of us, and we are guided by Survesh ji in this as well. It's an effort from all of us to try and bring the ethos of India to our children who don't have that advantage living so far away from India. And the first class, we are calling it as Dharma and Bharata. So we are going to talk about Dharma, of course, but we are also going to talk about Bharat or India, essentially, and we are going to try and understand the geography of India, a little bit of India as such, where it is, the landforms, how they have played for a part in its history, how are we connected to its heritage. We have to teach all of that to our children, and I hope the parents will be our big partners in this journey together. And so today we are three teachers here which are going to be trying to conduct this course today. I am Rashmi Shaligram. I live in New Jersey. And we have Manuji and Vasuji. I'm going to ask them to unmute themselves and introduce themselves. Manuji.
Thank you, Rashmiji, and namaste, everyone. And along with Rashmi and Vasuji, we all welcome you once again to the program. I live in California, and I'm a mother of 2 children. And my son is also attending this program, who is a middle schooler. And he's getting benefited a lot from this and getting to know a lot of information about India and the history and Dharma, of course. So I hope you guys will be getting benefited out of this. So over to you, Vasuji.
Namaste, everybody. I'm Vasundhara. I live in California, and I want to thank all the parents today for taking such an interest and giving us the opportunity to share and learn together with your kids and yourselves too about both Dharma and about Bharata. It does not matter how rooted we are, but it's a continuous journey, and we hope you will continue this journey long after this program is also completed. While we are getting started, we want to really thank you for this opportunity, and we hope you will continue the support throughout the program. Namaste.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Vasuji. Okay, so I see we have a lot of students today. We have almost like 40 people who have registered for this session. And so because there are so many of us on this Zoom call, we have certain, I think we have students from California, Texas, Georgia, Carolinas, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, it's almost all over the US, right? So there's a lot of us on this call today. So we have a few rules before we start, and let's get to that. So here you go. The first rule, please don't draw anything on the screen. Yes, I just saw a lot of drawings and scribblings. Second rule is to please mute yourself when you're not speaking, right? So that we don't have disturbance in the class. Everybody can hear what the teachers are saying. Also, if possible, for the next class, have your name set as the profile name so the teachers also know who is speaking. Yes, that could be done in the next class. And we are more than happy to answer any questions you have, but just note it down, save them till we get to the end of class. We will get to it, okay? Till the end of class. Okay, make sure you have a paper and a pen and you note it down. Yes, okay. Everybody's ready, right? Show me a thumbs up. Good job. Okay, all right. So let us start our class today. As we do in our culture, in the Hindu culture, we start every good thing, a good occasion with a vandana or a prayer to Lord Ganesha, right? So let's fold our hands together and you can unmute yourself if you want. Right, fold our hands. We are going to say a shlok for Lord Ganesha, right? We are going to invoke his blessings. So let's start. Repeat after me. Vakratunda Mahakaya.
Vakratunda
Kaya
Mahakaya.
Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Surya
Surya
Koti
Koti
Samaprabha
Samaprabha.
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva.
Nirvignam
Nirvignam
Kurume
Deva.
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvada.
Sarvada.
Beautiful. Okay, please mute yourself now. Thank you. Good job. Please mute yourselves. Yes, thank you. Okay, so here we are invoking the blessings of Lord Ganesha. And what are we asking? Why Ganesha, right? What are we asking from him? We are saying, oh Lord, with the curved trunk, one with the huge body, one with the radiance of 1,000,000 suns, please make my actions free from troubles. Yes, he is the Lord of removing hurdles and obstacles in our way. He's the Lord of beginnings. Yes, so let's talk more about Lord Ganesha. Look how our deity, Lord Ganesha, is represented. This is one of his representations. It is a deity. We never say idol. You could say idol, but it doesn't give us the right meaning. So whenever we are referring to our gods, we always say deity. Deity is a divine representation, okay? So this divine representation of Ganesha, look at his picture here. He has the head of an elephant, right? Now, if you have done or seen any documentaries about animals, the elephant is a very powerful animal in a jungle. It actually makes the way for other animals, right? So the other animals follow the elephant. So like that, Ganesha is also called Ganpati. somebody who is the leader of Gans or his devotees. So that is a representation. Look at the big ears Ganpati has. Lord Ganesha has big ears so that he can listen and hear to his devotees what they are saying, right? Okay, also look at his eyes. They are so sharply focused like that. When you all are students and you are studying, you have to be focused in what you're doing. Yes? Okay, all right. Look at his stomach. He has a big stomach. That stomach represents our big universe, right? Our universe is big and huge. Similarly, his stomach is also big and huge. Okay, look at the mouse at his feet, almost at his feet, the tiny mouse. Now, how does the mouse behave? He's always wandering from one place to another looking for food. But Lord Ganesha, he controls the mouse, right? Like that, when you are studying, you are only supposed to study. You're not supposed to think about video games, right? You're only supposed to study and focus. So that is the representation of Lord Ganesha. He is the Lord of beginnings, intellect, and wisdom. That is why we pray to him before we start any big task, right? So that is Lord Ganesha. Okay. And the shloka that we said just now was in a language called Sanskrit. Raise your hand if anybody knows Sanskrit. Give me a thumbs up. Have you heard of Sanskrit? Sanskritam. Good job. Very good. Sanskritam is an ancient language. Ancient. Ancient means very old. Please mute yourself, whoever is unmuted. Sanskritam is an ancient language, thousands of years ago, right? Our shlokas are written in Sanskrit. So, Vedic Sanskrit is 5,000 years old, okay? Sanskrit is also called the mother of all languages. Many languages which you all speak at home are all probably mostly derived from Sanskrit, okay? All right, so today we are just going to practice some basic introductions in Sanskrit. For example, everybody knows how to say hello. We fold our hands and we say
Namaste.
Fantastic. Namaste. Okay. So Vasuji, our teacher, is going to explain more what that means, right? Okay. So now, if you have to say your name in Sanskrit, you would say Mama Nama, and you would say your name. So I will say Mama Nama Rashmi. Okay. Okay. Practice that at home. Okay. So if you're asking somebody their names, if it is a boy or a man, you're asking their names too, you will say Bhavatah Nama Kim, right? If it's a man or a boy, right? If it's a girl, a lady, a woman, you will say Bhavatyaha Nama Kim. Okay, so these three, practice these things with your family. Yes? Thumbs up, everybody? Yes, practice these Sanskrit names. Impress your parents. Yes, good job. Okay, and also thank you means dhanyavad. All right, so that is Sanskrit. Okay, so there are 19,500 languages in India. Can you believe that? Out of that, only 22 are official. I am sure you all speak at least one of this other language. Yeah, so that is homework. If you don't speak, you got to learn. You have holidays now, learn to speak your mother tongue. Okay, learn at least a few sentences to show us in the next class. That's homework. Okay, yes? Okay, wonderful, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to hand it off to Manuji now, who is going to talk about India, its geography, its landforms. Let's hand over to Manuji. Manuji, you're on.
Thank you, Rashmiji. It was wonderful hearing about the god, our deity Ganesha. Okay, welcome back everyone once again. I'm sure you must be very excited about knowing India. Okay, before we start talking anything about India, let's see the maps. Okay, how India looks and how it looked in the olden days, which is called ancient India. Ancient means it's not like a 10-year or a 15-year or a 100-year. It's a matter of thousands years back. So, as you can see on the right side of your screen, the ancient India map. There is a not much similarity between the current Indian map and the other than the south part of the India. So, as you can see, the ancient India actually it comprised of current modern world countries which are part of some portions of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and India. So on the from west to eastern part, you can see like it's all wide open, right? So okay, now ancient India was also known as ancient. Basically, it's an old. Okay, so it was also known as Indus Valley Civilization, or Rashmiji, can you please go back to the previous slide? Yes, sorry, thank you. So ancient India was also known as Harappa civilization or Indus Valley civilization. Excuse me. So why was it called as Harappa civilization or Indus Valley civilization? So let's talk something about civilization, not much in detail, because I know you guys are, like, still you are yet to learn about all these things. So civilization is basically where a country in the initial days, they were the cities which grew up on the banks of the rivers. Okay, since we are speaking about rivers, I'm sure you must have heard a river Ganga or Sindhu or Brahmaputra, Narmada, Yamuna, right? So these are all some of the important rivers of India. So many of these rivers are still active. Okay, so when the in the olden days, people used to start their living on the banks of these rivers. So as Rashmi ji has highlighted, the Sindhu River. This is where you can find the Harappa civilization and the Mohenjo-daro civilizations. Mohenjo-daro is basically one of the important cities along with Harappa during the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, and if you go on the west side, eastern part, you can see Himalayas, right? So I'm sure you must have heard about Himalayas. We will be getting we'll be getting to know about Himalayas in a bit. Okay, so why these rivers are so important? Basically, these were the life-giving, and we Indians from our olden days, we always worshipped rivers like Ganga. Okay, so when you visit India, you must have gone to some of these, places, temples wherein a river is there. So you get immerse yourself into the river and you pray. So they were all worshipped as because they were life-giving. Okay, so now coming to the current India, you can see the current Indian map wherein we have 28 states, right? We have 28 states and 8 union territories. Okay, so Jammu Kashmir, which was earlier as a single state, recently it got bifurcated into two states, Jammu and Kashmir, and they are part of union territories now, including Ladakh. Okay, okay. So since we are talking about ancient India, like US was also always called as just a United States, the United States of America. But in the olden days, India was known by many different names like Bharat, Bharatavarsha, Jambudvipa, Aryavarta, and Sindhustana. I see some of you must be knowing these names or you must have heard, right? Okay, so we will not go in detail about all these. So like just I have mentioned, so Bharatavarsha or Bharata, why it was called as, so it was named after the King Bharata. So maybe if you are really interested to know the details, you can, do some research on these names. Likewise, Jambudvipa or Jambudvipa. Jambu is actually a Indian blackberry, we call. It looks purple color, okay? So maybe next time when you go to India, I would want you guys to, like try tasting this. So because it was filled with jambu trees, it was known as Jambu Island or Jambu Dvipa. Dvipa is basically an island. Aryavarta. Indians always are known as civilized and more respected. So since it was a land of respected people, they were called as Aryavarta. Arya is basically the more civilized or noble or respected in Sanskrit. Then comes Sindhustana. Sindhustana. Sindhu is a river which is known as Indus Valley. Okay, Indus River. So that's where the civilization, our civilization, Harappa civilization came into picture. So it was on the banks of Sindhu River. As you saw in the previous screen in the map, it is most the Persians who were, in that part, they always pronounced S as H. So instead of calling Sindh, it was pronounced as Hind. So, and the people who were living on the banks of that river, they were called Sindhu, Sindhustana, or the land of Hindus or Hindustana. Okay? So, since we are talking about India, how many of you know India always followed, and from the olden days we had our own calendar, and even till now the astrology and everyone, many of them, we follow Hindu calendar. Okay, like in US, how do you like, what do you think, like we have only 4 seasons, mostly rest of the world, but the Indian calendar or the Hindu calendar, if you follow, we have 6 seasons. Basically, seasons are called as ritus, okay, which are called, the current season is Grishma Ritu, okay. So Grishma is summer. So maybe you guys can go and try to find the details on this, okay. So ritus, how ritus are important? These are important because ritu, like the summer or the winter or the rainy season. Rainy season is or the monsoon season. India being a more majorly agriculture dependent country, we are always most dependent on the rains. And how these rains are controlled. Of course, we have nothing in our hand, but nature. Okay, and for India has a boon called Himalayas. Himalayas always played a significant role in controlling the Indian climatic conditions, or to be more precise, the Indian rain system. Okay, other than climatic condition, how else it is important? It is because of uh, uh, like it acted as a barrier, defense barrier from the outside invaders, and it's a source of river. So what source for the rivers? Okay, okay, guys, now we are going to play a small game, okay. Whenever you have when you know the answer, it's like basically you have to guess the monument. You have to unmute yourself and just tell me, okay. Okay, to go with, this is the first picture. Can anyone tell me what monument this is? If you know, please unmute yourself. Anyone? Okay. Okay. Let's see. This is Ajanta and Ellora Caves, situated in Maharashtra. Okay. I will be, since we don't have enough time, we'll not be talking much about this, or maybe after the post the class in the coming days, we'll be sharing the videos and more details about these caves. Okay, it's basically a rock cut caves. Okay, this is a kind of a temple. There is a temple called Kailasha temple, which is the only temple which has been built from top to bottom instead of bottom to the top approach. Okay, isn't it interesting? Okay, let's go to the next picture. I'm sure you must be knowing, at least some of you. Can someone tell me what is this?
Humpy.
Humpy, right, that's right. Okay, good, very good. Okay, yeah, to be precise, what I can say is this is a stone chariot of Vitala temple in Hampi. Okay, this temple is one of the most important temples among the Hampi dynasty is again a very, very big and very interesting topic. Okay, maybe you can just get the information. Next slides, please. Okay, someone? Okay, let's see. Which is this? Okay, I think you guys don't know. This is called Sanchi Stupa. Okay, it is in Sanchi Stupa is one of the Buddhist monuments and it is located in Madhya Pradesh.
Whoever is
Okay.
annotating, can you please not do that?
Yeah, I'm trying to clear it, but
Yeah.
it's not working.
No,
Yeah.
I think parents need to control the kids. If it continues, we will have to
Please.
unnecessarily spend time in.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Can someone guess what monument is this? Okay. Okay, that's fine. I think you guys, this is called Konarka Surya Temple or Sun Temple. Okay, this temple is built in such a way that the first ray of sun is, it reflects on the statue of the god. So it is built in such a way. We will again share more information on that. Okay, how about this temple? Anyone? Okay, so this is Brihadeshwara Temple, Tanjavur. Okay, it's Lord Shiva's temple, Brihadeshwara, or you can call it as a big temple as well. Okay, it's situated on the banks of river Kaveri. Okay, next. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, so can anyone? Okay, let's see. This is Iron Pillar, located in New Delhi. Okay, iron pillar. It is a 1600-year-old pillar made of iron and some of the other metals, and till today it is not rusted at all. So it's very interesting, and again we will share more details onto this. Anyone?
Mysore. Yeah. Say
Yes, that's right. It's Mysore Palace. Very good.
Palace.
Very good. Mysore Palace. Yes, Karnataka. Okay. Very famous for the Dasara
I
festival.
am from Karnataka.
I'm from Karnataka too.
Oh.
Hi. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. Anyone?
Jaipur, baby. Jaipur.
Yes, it is Hawa Mahal. Hawa Mahal from Rajasthan, Jaipur. That's right. So it is known for its number of windows. Okay, this one,
Jantar
our
Mantar.
last picture.
Jantar Mantar.
Skating place.
No, Jantar Mantar.
It's
No,
Jantar
that's
Mantar.
right.
You're right. It's Jantar Mantar.
Delhi.
So it's a astronomical observatory. Okay. So I know we have not much time. We will share the details about these. Okay. Now let's get back to our national things. Okay. So to first start with national flag. How many of you know our national flag or how many colors it has? Right? As you can see in the picture, it's made of three colors, three different colors: saffron, white, and green. And exactly, so each of them represents different meaning. Whereas saffron represents courage and sacrifice, White represents peace, purity, and green represents fertility, growth. Okay, in the center you can see a wheel. Okay, okay, I will give you a homework. Okay, next time in the next class I want you guys to tell me how many spikes are there and what do they represent anything. Okay, there is a meaning to it, so maybe not now. I know some of you must be knowing, so maybe we can just in the next class we will discuss about this. Okay, it's just a small homework for the kids who don't know. Okay, then coming to the other details, as most of you know, hopefully, like the capital of India is New Delhi and the currency is rupee, as you can see in the picture, which has our Mahatma Gandhiji's picture. Okay, and the national anthem Jana Gana Mana. If you know, it is good. If you don't know, next class, please, by then try to see. I try to learn the anthem. Okay, India is the second biggest country after China with 1.3 billion population, right? Since we are talking about population, India being a second largest country, it is the biggest and the largest Hindu nation with 80%, almost 80% of its population being Hindus, right? And it is the third largest religion being followed in the whole country, whole world, right? Other than Hindus, we have Muslims, Christians, Sikh, and other. So what it means to say is, being a Hindu nation, we are always welcoming and being respectful toward other religions, right? Okay, then our Indian parliamentary system, right? Okay, India is I think many of you must be knowing, India is the largest democratic country in the whole world. What do you mean by democratic? The government or the people of the government who forms, they have been selected by the people of the nation, right? So before going into that, India, I think most of you must be knowing, excuse me, so who doesn't know? Okay, India got the independence on August 15, 1947, which is going to be very soon in next couple of weeks, right? So hopefully you will all celebrate and sing the national anthem, right? Okay, there is a little difference between the Indian parliamentary system and the US parliamentary system. Since we are staying in US, I just thought of referring to US. Okay, so here we have our president, whereas in India, prime minister is the one who will be running the whole nation under president rule, right? So maybe what you can do is in the next class, as a part of homework, which again we will be sharing it later, what you can do is try to find the difference between Indian parliamentary system and the US parliamentary system. Okay, how it works, what are the differences, right? I hope we could able to tell you everything whatever possible. So over to you with some great story. Thank you, Rashmiji. Please
Okay,
take
thank
care.
you. Thank you, Manuji. Okay,
Thank you.
so everybody, we had a lot of information now about the Indian geography, right? This is just an introduction. We will be talking about it more, but what's better to do now rather than listen to a story? Yes? Yay! So let's start a story. So today's story we have taken from the ancient Indian epic, Mahabharata. I'm sure some of you have read it or heard it or even watched some TV serial or something about Mahabharata, right? Mahabharata is a part of our itihas. Itihas is history, right? And what was Mahabharata? Mahabharata was a war. It was fought between two different armies, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, right? The Pandavas were 5 brothers, the Kauravas were 100 brothers. They were cousins, but they fought with each other for land. So the Pandavas actually won the war. They stood for truth and justice. So in the end, the victory came to the Pandavas. Now look at this picture here. You can see Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is leading the Pandavas into war. To your right is Lord Krishna in his chariot with Arjuna, one of the brothers of the Pandavas, and to your left is the Kaurava army. Yes, so the big war was fought. And the story today actually is from the time the war was over. So the Pandavas won the war was all done, and as was customary in those times, the eldest son would become the next king, right? So in the Pandava brothers, the eldest son was Yudhishthir. So Yudhishthir was going to be the next king. So he held a big, like you have when you get something or win something, you celebrate. So in those times, this is what they did. So look to your right, there is a picture of yagya. So the kings did a big yagya or a fire ceremony, right? So this was called the Ashwamedh Yagya at that time. He invited many kings, many people to this big celebration. And everybody came. There was a grand celebration. And then at the end of the celebration, it was time to give away money and to the needy people who had come there, poor people. So Yudhishthir was very proud of his victory, and he was distributing wealth and goodies to everybody who came, the poor people also who came. And in the crowd there was a strange looking mongoose. He had come there too, but he wasn't waiting for anything. He was just rolling on the ground and shaking his head, rolling and shaking his head. Everybody was wondering, why is the mongoose doing that? They told the king Yudhishthir, please ask the mongoose, why is he rolling and shaking his head? So Yudhishthir says, okay, I will ask him. So Yudhishthira goes to the mongoose. He says, Mr. Mongoose, why are you shaking your head and why are you rolling on the ground? So the mongoose is actually a magic mongoose. He can talk. So he says, can you see, O great king, half of my body is golden, the other half is brown. Do you know why the one half is golden? Yudhishthira says, no, please can you tell me why is only half of you golden? So Yudhishthira and mongoose. So the mongoose is now telling him a story. So he tells him, O King Yudhishthira, please listen to this story. I used to live in a town some time back. That people of those towns was very poor. They had nothing to eat. There was one family, a father, mother, and their 2 children who were very poor. They went for days without any food. Finally, after a long time, the man of the house, the father, managed to find some food for the family. They were excited. Finally, right? They're going to eat some food. They sit down to dinner. Just then what happens? They hear a knock on the door. Who could that be? The father opens the door, and there in front of them is a poor, tired, hungry old man. But in our Hindu religion, we always consider a guest to be God. Atithi devo bhava. So immediately they invite the poor man into their house. Please sit. They give him water. Ask him why was he looking like that. So he said, oh, listen to me. I have been walking for days. I am so hungry. I don't have anything to eat. Immediately the family had a meeting. What do? They were hungry too. So the father of the house says, this is a guest in our family. I will give him my share of the food. So the man, the father of the family, gives his share of the food to his guest. The guest eats it, but he's still hungry. The mother, next, she says, I will give him my share. No worries. I'll be happy to help out a hungry man. She gives him her share too. Still the man is hungry. Then the 2 children, they also give away their food. They sacrifice their food. Finally, after eating everybody's share, the man is happy. He says, thank you very much. The other family, the family who are actually hungry, they are not sad. They are very happy to have been helping this man here. They say, it is our pleasure to help you. Then the guest, he shows himself. It is actually God who has come to test them. He says, wow, you people are phenomenal. You're fantastic. You guys sacrificed whatever little you had. I will bless you. You will never go hungry again, he said. And he vanished from there. And this mongoose, he's telling the story, remember? He says, I was there. I saw it happen. And immediately I saw some food where that man was eating. I thought, I was hungry too. Let me go grab that food. So he ran towards the food. He went rolling towards the food. And the part of his body which touched the food became golden. He said, I realized only half of my body is golden. Immediately he turned the other way. He started rolling the other side, but the other half did not get golden because the food was over. So he said to Yudhishthira, the king, who was listening to his story, so, O king, that is why I am here today. I tried to see you are doing a big celebration. You are giving away things to the poor. I thought if I come here and roll, maybe my other half of the body will get golden. But that did not happen. That is why I was shaking my head. Oh, king, this is all a waste of time. It's no good. And the mongoose vanishes. Now Yudhishthira realizes. What does he realize? I have been proud, he says. I have a lot of wealth. I have been giving away my wealth to people, but I'm not humble. I'm not like that family who had so little, but they shared whatever they had. They gave away whatever they had. So what's the moral of our story here? What's the moral of our story here? That we have to be humble, right? And we have to, the real sacrifices when we give away what is very dear to us. That is the true sacrifice. That is what Yudhishthira learned from this story of the mongoose. I hope you all like the story. And now we are going to ask Vasuji, who is going to take us to the Dharma. Vasuji, you're on.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, Rashmiji. Dhanyavadaha. Now, you've just heard from Manuji and Rashmiji about India, that is Bharat, and how India was called Sindhustana or Hindustana by Persians, and that it is the home, the largest home of all Hindus in the world right now. So, but then, next slide, please. Who is a Hindu? We know that Persians called it Hindustan. But, a Hindu, according to them, Persians, was somebody who lived along the river Indus. So that's why they were called Hindus, the people of the Hindustan. Now, a Hindu, according to them, was just a person who lived along the river. But is it only referring to the location or something more? Next slide, please. So, a Hindu, according to them, Persians, was someone who was very different from them. They worshipped all different gods and had different practices. Basically very, very different from them Persians. They did not follow one god, and there was no one book that they could read to understand about their god. So with this, we can understand that a Hindu is someone who follows a practice called Hinduism. But what exactly is this Hinduism? Next slide, please. If you try to find out and read a book, you will find that they almost always, at least some of you would have heard or read about it, that they mention that Hindus have 33 million gods. Is that really so? I'm sure you've seen some of them in the temples, but 33 million? Think about it. Here's what I think it, as I understand it. Hinduism is like a vast ocean, and all these gods and goddesses are like tiny drops in this ocean. And in our scriptures, that's why our sages and our all the holy books that they have collected all the wisdom with, they say that our mother is our greatest among all the gods. And a mother and father are our first gods. I'm sure most of you have at least heard of this shloka. Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava. If you know it, say it along with me. Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava, as you just heard in the story. Similarly, our teachers are also our living gods. And we honor, it is our culture and our tradition to honor our guests also with the same devotion and respect. Now, you've learned a little bit about Hinduism. Let's play a small game. Can anyone tell me what this symbol stands for? Or what this is?
Oh.
Oh, that's right. It is the Omkara. It is the Omkara. It's also called the Pranava. This is the fundamental frequency or sound of the universe. Remove all other sounds in the universe. What will be left will be this Om. The whole universe started with this sound. Om. How about the next one? Next symbol, please. Who can tell me what this is? It's swastika. That's correct. Exactly. A swastika is a combination of two words. Su, which means good or well, and
Well-being.
asti means well-being. So su asti means to be well, to be good.
S-U-A-S-T-I.
Yes. So our symbol swastika means be well, well-being. Now, next slide, please. Whenever we meet another Hindu, we always say namaste, right? We all greeted ourselves in the morning at the beginning of the day with a namaste. You know what that means? It's again a combination of two words, namaha and te. It means the divinity in me bows to the divinity in you. But what is this divinity? It is that portion, that part of that God that resides in all of us. That is what namaste means. Now that you understand a little bit about what Hindus are, remember, Hinduism is a word that is given by others. What do we Hindus call ourselves? Our Hinduism, what is it called? It is called Sanatana Dharma. Let's see what it means. Sanatana. A Sanatana means something that is eternal. It's timeless. It's perpetual. But what do these mean? It's like the wheel of time. It's continuous. It keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, like the wheel of time. Now, that is Sanatana. We understand that. Let's see what the next word is. What is this Dharma? What is this Dharma? A Dharma is so very unique to Hinduism. It cannot be translated into any language. It is so uniquely Hindu. It means that everyone should do whatever role, depending on whatever the role they have, whatever form they have, they must do everything, every duty that is part of that role to make sure that the world runs smoothly. Let's break it down. I understand it's a little bit difficult to understand. Each one of us is unique. We can't choose where we are born, when we are born, who our parents are, and all of that, right? But we all have a unique role and purpose in this world, right? Let me give you an example. Let's take ice or snow on the mountain. We must wonder, right? What's the point of snow? Even that has a purpose. In summer, that snow, all the while it might rest on the top of the mountain, but in summer, that snow melts away into water, flows into a river, and then feeds the river. That water, in turn, will help people all over the world, and not just people, all other creatures to live well, right? It helps them live life. So also, let's take another example. A lion. A lion, what does it do? It hunts other animals. It can't just say, it has a role and purpose too, right? In the jungle. It can't just say, no, I'm going to be good and I'm not going to kill anybody, because that would upset the natural order of the jungle, right? So also, every person, every living creature, everything in the world has a unique purpose and a duty to perform in this world. When everybody is performing their own duties and doing their actions that are required of them, then the world will run very, very smoothly. There is order in this universe. Now, I hope you got a little bit of understanding of what Dharma is. Yes? Thumbs up? Okay. So, now with this small understanding of Dharma, can you really think of what your Dharma is? Can you? Okay, keep thinking. It's not an easy concept to understand. I understand that. Now, we've understood what Sanatana is and what Dharma is. But what is God? Where is God in all of this? Right? That's a natural question. So, whatever makes this Dharma, this universe run smoothly, whatever power, whatever force that makes this order happen smoothly in this universe, not just our world, but the entire universe, the entire cosmos, that is what we call God or Parabrahman. Now, in Sanatana Dharma, there is no concept of one God and one book and one idea on how to understand this God. Each one is free to choose their own path, their own way of what God is like and finding out more about that path. And all Sanatana Dharma is finding that journey to understand this truth. That is why we have so many deities. Remember, deities are our forms, our representations, or that form that we give to what we think is our idea of God. Now let's see. Some people worship animals. I'm sure you've seen this. Some of your, if you visit India, I'm sure you have seen Go Puja. A go is a cow. A cow is a very, 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 very sacred animal to all Hindus across the world. Because a cow is like a mother to us. She gives us milk, she feeds us, she helps in our agriculture. She does all of this without expecting anything in return. That's why she is very, very sacred. And we Hindus worship all life, especially animals and all other creatures around us. Next slide, please. So it's not just limited to cows. It's about respecting and devoting and respecting all other animals, big and small. We worship in the temples. You must have seen we worship elephants, and it's not just limited to temples. Even everyday people, they worship Nagas. Very recently, we celebrated this festival called Naga Panchami, where all the snakes are offered food and offered worship and respect. Excuse me. It's not just living creatures. It's all of the inanimate objects in the universe. Inanimate means something that doesn't have life. Like, for example, Earth. Whenever we start any project, be it growing our food and or building a building, a structure, a home to live in, we do Bhumi Pujan. Why? Because it is Mother Earth. We respect Mother Earth as a mother because she sustains all life. She helps us grow our food. She helps us build homes and be safe from all other elements, right? So we worship our Mother Earth as such. We show the same devotion to trees. How many of you know which plant this is? I'm sure some of you have seen this. They're not just plants or trees, many plants and leaves. While all of them are very sacred and very safe, very sacred and divine to us, there are some plants that are very special, like tulasi. It's used in medicines, and peepal tree. A peepal tree is also a very sacred tree, and the leaf is used for worship. You can see in the picture too. It's huge and it's extremely sacred. You will find if you visit India, you will find that they are already most of them have a peepal tree in their yards, in the temple yard. Another such leaf is a bilva leaf. It's used in the worship of Lord Shiva. Now let's go to the next slide, please. Who can tell me what this is? It's a seed of a plant.
It's the Rudraksha Shiva wears.
Yes, very good. Uttamam. That is a Rudraksha. A Rudraksha is also a very, very sacred plant. And the, excuse me, and the seed of that plant is used to make a rosary or a japamala. You remember, people think of God as they meditate. As they chant the name of the God or the mantra, they use this to keep count of how many times they've chanted the Lord's name. Next slide, please. Just like earth, we also worship water. Water is also very, very important for life. All our rituals glorify our rivers in India. You've just heard some of them, some of the rivers names in India, right? Like Ganga, Yamuna. There are many more other such rivers like Sindhu, Narmada, Godavari, Kaveri, Saraswati, Tungabhadra, Tapati, many more. India is a land of rivers. So we perform rituals to our rivers also. We place even, next slide please. We place what is this? We place this in our homes, right? Whenever we offer puja. If not at our homes, you must have seen it in a temple. So this, can anyone tell me what this is?
Coconut.
Say it again, please.
Coconut.
A coconut. What is underneath? It is a kalasha. Repeat after me. A kalasha. A kalasha is a vessel, pot.
A
We place
kalasha.
it. Yes, a
Kalasha.
uttamam. So we place a pot of water with a coconut on it and invoke all of the rivers. When we say invoke, we mean invite. Please come into our lives and bless us with all of the life-giving properties to us. We perform all of these rituals. You saw in the previous slide that we do arti to our rivers. Not just one river, to all of the rivers. There are different ways, but we all perform puja to our rivers as well. Now, next slide, please. Hinduism is not just about worshipping the earth or just animals or whatever is living and non-living, what we use. We also celebrate seasons. You've just learned about 6 seasons, right? Can anyone guess which celebration, which season this is? What festival this is? Holi. Yes, I'm sure many of you have participated in it.
Holi.
The celebration of the arrival of spring. Spring means Vasanta. Vasantotsava. You know what Holi is called? It's called Vasantotsava. Utsava means celebration. Vasanta means spring. It's a celebration of the season when everything comes back to life. We celebrate that beginnings, new beginnings, again and again. Every year it repeats and every year we celebrate that beginnings. Right? Next. Now this also is again a very important aspect, very unique to Hindus. This is the Mother Goddess. Mother Goddess. We worship our mothers as a goddess because she not only cares for us, takes care of us, she nurtures us, she helps us grow and be well. She also protects us. She is very, very protective of us. This is how I like to think of my mother and my God as a goddess who is not only caring but also very, very protective of me. Next slide, please. So it's not all about, Hinduism is not just about devotion and puja and bhakti. It is also about celebration. You saw one celebration, right? Holi? Who can tell me what this celebration is here? You know about the deity? Who can tell me?
Ganesh Chaturthi.
Uttamam, very good. That is Ganeshotsava. Ganeshotsava is a huge celebration. It's a sea of people coming into the streets, no differences. Everybody is one. Everybody is singing and dancing and celebrating this glorious festival. We are celebrating again. No obstacles. We are hoping to pray to Ganesha. And we are not just praying, we are celebrating that Ganesha in our life. That's what Hinduism is all about. Now, next slide, please. Who can tell me what this is? I'm sure if you looked at Ganesha in the previous picture, you would identify he's holding one of this. in his hand? It's a shankha or a conch shell. Yes, whenever we have any occasion, any good occasion, we blow into our shankha. Even Krishna in Mahabharata, he blows his conch shell, Panchajanya, and to start the war. What is it a sign of? It's a symbol of new beginnings, of new hopes. It also means auspiciousness. What is auspiciousness? It means everything that brings good into our life. That's what the sound of this conch shell indicates. Next slide, please. Now, is it all about doing our duty alone? Yes. Some people just say, no, I don't know what the answers are, how this universe runs. I want to understand the truth about this Parabrahman or God as they call it. And they spend their entire lives looking for that. Is that okay in Hinduism? Yes, that is welcome. That's an idea that is all these ideas are welcome in Hinduism. That's why some people give up everything, become monks or sadhus, and they go in search of this truth. Let's go on. Next, it doesn't mean we are all on our own finding this path, this truth about God and what Hinduism is and what our role and purpose life is. We have our sages, whatever they understood to be the true Hinduism, they compiled in the form of Veda. Compiled means they collected all the information that they understood have very, very long, winding mantras and rituals, fire rituals. You learned about one such yajna, right? So one such yajna, and so all these Vedas have a lot of these mantras and rituals. Understanding and learning how to do these rituals is next, please, Rashmiji. So all these things, learning about these Vedas and rituals takes a long time. People spend many, many years studying under a guru, understanding what these are and how to perform these. Can we all spend years and years understanding about it? Maybe not, but we have something easier and simpler called yoga. Has anyone done yoga? Has anybody done yoga? Yoga asanas? You probably started a little bit, right? I see many of you are.
I've done it.
Uttamam. So that is also one more way to understand what this God is, what Parabrahman is, what Hinduism is, what Sanatana Dharma is. It is all one process. Now what, after listening to all of this, what do you think Hinduism is? Next slide, please. Yes, it's a lamp, a diya or deepa. It's the lamp of light. A small light is enough to dispel or remove all of the ignorance, the darkness of ignorance, and that one small light is enough to show us the way, the path to knowledge and wisdom. Okay, to summarize, just to summarize, simple. This is the essential message of what Hinduism is, what Sanatana Dharma is that we all have to light our small lamp to light the way to knowledge. I hope you will all think about what Hinduism is and Sanatana Dharma is, right? Do you want some homework about this? I think I already asked you to think about what your Dharma is, right? So here's your homework. Think about what your Dharma is and tell me what makes you think about yourself as a Hindu and what makes you proud of it. I really want to see. You can either upload an audio file or a video file on WhatsApp. All right? I look forward to listening to all of that from you. Now, as always, we prayed to Ganpati to invoke and make sure that our lesson goes on smoothly without any obstacles. Now let's hope for peace after this and that our learning continues with us. Can I have everybody join hands and repeat after me the Shanti Mantra? Om. You can unmute yourself. Om. Bhavantu
Banvantu
Sukhinah
Sukhinah
Sarve Santu
Sarve
Sarve
Santu
Santu
Niramayah
Niramayah
Sarve Bhadrani
Sarve Bhadrani
Pashyantu
Pashyantu
Ma Kaschit
Ma Kaschit
Dukkha Bhavet
Dukkha Bhavet
Om Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti.
Shanti,